I'm afraid of some MLAs like Rosemary Brown, so I must make room this morning for a piece on the Task Force of Ageing Women operated by the NDP. I have a very delicate and dicey and diplomatic interview ahead of me right now because I've been asked to interview a couple of older women in the Task Force on Older Women, sponsored by the Women's Rights Committee of the BC NDP. Let's tackle older woman number one, Mercia Stickney. How old are you, older woman?
I'm 48, Jack.
Oh, dare I ask Rosemary Brown how old she is?
Well, Jack, I'm sure you're the only person in BC who doesn't know that I'm 50 this year because Marjorie Nichols announced it to the whole world in her column on my birthday.
You don't look
big 50.
You don't look a day more than 29.
Oh, that's not true. I certainly hope I look my age.
My impression when I saw about this task force on older women was that you NDP women were wasting your time on the obvious. Surely it's quite obvious what the problems of older women are.
Is it obvious to you? What are they?
They're getting older.
Ah, but you can get older without having some of the problems that older women are having now.
Oh, nonsense. There's no difference in the problems of aging between men and women. It's a question of you getting older, you lose some of your friends, and you're often far too short of money to do the things you wanted to do when you were younger.
I'm glad you mentioned the money, Jack, because in fact, the statistics, whether it's Senator Crow's report, or the Canadian Council on Social Development, or the Dominion Bureau of Statistics recorded very clearly that most of the poor people in this country are older women. So that is a very great difference between older women and older men.
So therefore this is a task force on the problems of older, poorer women. Is that right?
No, that's just one of the differences. You said there was no difference between older women and older men. And I'm saying that poverty is very clearly one of the differences.
What's the point of your exercise? I mean, you've been holding some public hearings. To what purpose, please, Mercia Stickney?
Excuse me. But our purpose is to raise the issues, to go to the women and have them raise the issues, not somebody telling us as women what our problems are.
Right,
so we're raising the issues.
What issues have they raised with you that are other than common sense issues?
They have raised specific aspects of issues. For instance, the aspect of poverty that Rosemary was talking about, and how older women cannot often stay in their own homes because of the cost of home repairs. Now, they could be getting along quite well on their gain and the old age pension if they own their home and they don't have rent increases. But when it comes to getting home repairs, that means that they have to pay $26 an hour for labor to have a washer repaired in their tap. That's $26 out of their monthly income, which they simply can't afford.
These labor rates are absolutely ridiculous, aren't they?
No,
I think that
it's not that the rates are ridiculous.
The income is low.
Right. It's trying to live on a fixed income and an adequate income. But there are some other issues too. You know, the whole attitude towards aging, everyone being so secretive about it. We live in a society in which everyone has to be young, and it's something terrible happens
and
to
slim.
you.
Don't forget the slim.
And slim. Yeah, that's right, Jack. Even you.
And not allowed to smoke.
Well, I don't approve of smoking, but that's okay.
Not allowed to have a drink.
But no, that's allowed. I mean, the biggest pusher of alcohol in the province is the government. So
well, you were part of that,
go.
and you've done your share to push alcohol.
You don't want to talk about older women, do you, Jack?
I want to know what the object of the exercise is. Having got your information from women, problems of money, rent, lack of social life, women live longer than men and therefore are lonelier in the long run than men are. What are you going to do about it?
What we do about it is we have no policy within the party on older women. We want to devise that policy. As the Women's Rights Committee within the party, we fight for that to be a priority in any election program and for it to be a priority for implementation in government. In the meantime, the report that we come out with will contain the information that we've received. It will be available to any community group to use for lobbying purposes. It's available to our caucus members to use for lobbying, to use within the legislature and to pressure the government to make changes.
It's available to you, Jack, also to use on your show to talk about, for example, the things that that's coming out in housing is that these bachelor suites, over and over, everywhere we go, the women are saying, we loathe these things. We do not like having to spend the rest of our lives in one room. Now, that's something I think when we talk about building public housing, that politicians and architects and bureaucrats have to take into account.
What would you suggest, communal living for older widows?
Well, there's got to be an alternative to bachelor suites if we start looking at it. Maybe cooperative living, maybe some other way of dividing the space. I don't know, but these
I don't
are
think
the
old
kinds
people
of...
want to live together, getting there myself. You want to live in a community with younger people, surely.
Nobody, I think, has ever asked older people and older women about what they wanted and how they experienced it. So I think that architects were unaware of the fact that to live 20 years in one room and in essence to die from that room is just too much to ask of any human being.
The
Okay.
other point, Jack, that's coming out is the business of, the overuse of drugs. They're saying doesn't matter what complaints they go to the doctor with, they get a prescription either for something to calm them or something to raise, either uppers or downers or whatever. And this overuse of drugs, they're saying is just not good enough.
And I'll give you a little piece of testimony involving one particular older woman. Her husband was 78, went into Valley View, and she was shattered and shocked to find out that suddenly he was given psychiatric treatment. And she was called into a family conference and told that she was to blame, that she had pampered her elderly husband too much. That might be something. The techniques for dealing with old people and what they think is an old folks' home might well be examined.
See, there you are. You already are
Raised
beginning to
issue.
make a contribution to the task force on older women.
When will your report be finished, ladies? Women. I can't call you ladies. Women.
Correct.
Persons.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that we are going to be holding a public hearing this Saturday at the YWCA on Burrard.
In Vancouver.
In Vancouver, starting at 9:15
My
in the
thanks to
morning.
Mercia Stickney of the NDP Women's Rights Committee. And your name again? I keep forgetting.
Rosemary Brown, 50-year-old.
Still NDP?
Oh, always.
Going to run the next election?
Yes, Jack, have to.